Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back for another episode. If not now, when? Today, oh my God, I have such an honor. I'm so excited to introduce today our special guest. We got Khulan Davaadorj on the call with us. She is a founder and CEO for Lhamour. And Khulan, she is from far east. She's from Mongolia today. She actually grew up in Germany, but then she studied in Switzerland, in France, and finished her master's degree in Columbia University in New York City. She really is a world traveler. Today, she's an entrepreneur, my friend. She is public speaker and mentor who found her business, the Natural Essentials 2014. She started Mongolia's first ever organic skincare named Lhamour, a social startup with the intention to produce the healthy and quality lifestyle skincare product. Today, she wants to share the philosophy of not only loving yourself, but also loving the environment with environmental friendly approach to a product, to a design. And ever since the beginning, my friend, Khulan have always focusing on giving back to society and empowering the youth and women. She also is a founder of Finding Your Passion program that provides teenagers the skills and mindset to help them find their inner passion and help them get ready for the beautiful world. Oh my gosh, she today is named Entrepreneur of the Year of Asia Pacific 2016. Entrepreneur of Year in Mongolia 2017, Forbes 30 Under 30 Mongolia, Women's of the Year 2017, Young Professional of the Year 2017, and the Most Responsible SME Asia 2016 in Singapore. With that, everybody, I am just so pumped, so excited, and thank you so much, Khulan, for joining us, and welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you so much for spending time with us, Khulan. Your experience is so inspiring. So, tell us, how does all the journey get started? How did you grow up in Mongolia and then travel all around the world? Tell us about that.
Yes, so I always say I'm a true nomad because I have been traveling all my life,
Mhm.
obviously because of family reasons. So my father used to work for the embassy in
Wow.
Germany. So that's why we were always traveling back and forth. But yeah, I grew up in Germany. I was in Switzerland as well. I was in France as well. And then later on, I did my master's degree in the United States and finally came back in 2012 to Mongolia.
Wow. And I want to ask you, how does that world travel experience shape who you are today as an entrepreneur? Is an incredible, successful businesswoman. How does that shape who you are?
Well, obviously, my past has been, a lot has had a lot of influence of on who I am today. I think because traveling really gave me the opportunity to widen my horizon and to learn from all the different cultures and really also incorporate who I am as a person. So when I was, living in Germany, I had a, identity crisis. I was like, am I German? Am I Mongolian? But then I was back in Mongolia and I was like, am I Mongolian or am I actually somebody else? But then along the way, I realized that it's really about who I am as a person and what I want to achieve with my own life and how I am with other people, how I treat them, whether I'm good at school, etc. So I think all these things really help me to 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 be really honest about myself because as an entrepreneur you have to be really true and honest to yourself, because obviously you're alone starting something unique and for a long time you'll be alone. um, so it was, I think, that moment when I started my business, um, I didn't feel alone because, I have been traveling all my life. You know, I was all over, but then I was always alone. So I think it really gave me the confidence to be true to myself.
That is so beautiful, Kulan. And you mentioned this. You talk about you always wonder what you want to become, what impact you want to create. I want to ask you, what impact do you want to create? Who are you? What is Kulan after all the years? And do you always knew what you wanted to do in life?
No, I did not. I did not know what I wanted to do. Obviously, when I was in high school, my main focus was just to get a good job, to get good salary, to make my parents proud. Along the way, because I had this identity of being Mongolian, I always wanted to be part of an international organization, so part like of something much greater. And then I actually got accepted to Columbia University with a scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
as well as for an internship at the UN, which basically made my dream come true. I was a student, and I was at the UN, and it was my first time actually in the States. So I was pretty shocked, like the first time, um, when I was in New York, I was literally just standing there and like looking at the crowd because it was just so exciting for me. And when I was doing my internship, I just realized that it's not really me because I'm really fast paced and I love creativity, etc. And after realizing that about myself, I was like, okay, so what do I really want to achieve? And I think the main kind of impact was Columbia University, because when I was there, I was one of the youngest,
Mm-hmm.
because I was just like 20 something, and everybody else, because it was a master's degree, was so professional, was already in their 30s, 40s, was like doing amazing things, you
Wow.
know, all over the world. And I think that was the starting point when I was like, I thought I was doing amazing things, but then just for myself. And that was kind of the ticking point. Okay, amazing, being like amazing just means the amount of impact, positive impact you have in on people. So I think that was kind of the starting point where I really wanted to give back to society, but in a very kind of sustainable way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I really started to focus on renewable energy and just like sustainable development. So that was kind of the starting point of, okay, the impact I really want to achieve in my life
Mm-hmm.
is really to create something
Mm-hmm.
for our children, for their children, for something sustainable. So that was kind of the real turning point of my life.
Mm-hmm. Why the sustainable subject and conversation is important to you, Kulan?
I guess sustainability is really important to me because everything we do now will have an impact on our future. So even as a private person, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm just like one person. Like what I do doesn't make an impact on the world." But everything you do actually makes an impact on the world. So I think the
Yes.
realization of that really leads to like one step up to the other, and it's kind of like a snowball effect. So um, the reason why sustainability is key is because at that time when I was at Columbia University, I was really thinking about climate change a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking about how things were being affected because of things, mankind has been
Mm-hmm.
doing in the belief that we are developing. But then we only have one world, like one earth. And I truly believe that we are kind of visitors to this earth,
Mm-hmm.
and we should be actually taking care of Mother Nature. And it has been kind of the other way around. Mother Nature has been taking care of us. So I truly believe we're visitors, and we should pay respect, and we should really focus on every single action we do, even if it's just one person. So that was kind of
Mm-hmm.
the tick that created, all this, like, okay, what next, and everything I do has an impact on even, somebody else on earth. So that was once you kind of think about it, I think there's no turning back. You really realize that you as one person have such a huge impact on this world.
Wow, so beautiful, Khulan. You are just such. I have such a beautiful heart. I really, really love that insight. And now I'm gonna pivot to entrepreneurship. And from that moment, you're thinking about sustainability, thinking about environmental change. And what point you realize you want to start on your own business? How does that conversation? How does that pivot happen?
So I came back to Mongolia in 2012 to work for one of the largest group companies in Mongolia, which at that time was building Mongolia's huge wind and solar park in the South Gobi Desert. So there was a huge project. I was a project, I was in the middle of the project. I had a very good salary. But then I started to have allergies for the first time in my life because, Mongolia is one of the harshest climates in the world, and our capital city is one of the harshest capital cities in the world because it can get to plus 30 degrees Celsius in the summer to minus 30 degrees Celsius in the winter, right? So it's like crazy up and down. And that was kind of the starting point of Lhamour because I started to have allergy, and then the doctors were advising me to use very mild natural skincare, which at that time I couldn't find. So I was like, Mongolia, the land of the blue sky, which has all these amazing ingredients, doesn't have any natural skincare. And that was just like, I was like, why? And it just started to become like, I was researching about it, and then it started to become a passion of mine. And then I was starting to take online courses of a school called Formula Botanica, which is actually really one of the only schools based on organic skincare formulation. So I was doing things at home, I was like doing bath bombs at home and soap at home. And I really loved it. And then I was giving it to people, and people were like, what is this? Like it's a bath bomb and you made it. And they're like, nobody really understood what it is. And I was like, it's really unique because I made it with Mongolian ingredients. People really like it. And I could use it myself, being somebody who has allergies and skin problems, So that was kind of like, okay, there's a problem and I can solve it with my abilities. So why not just start doing it?
That is so beautiful. I love that you're really coming from the place where you want to solve your own problem, and then you start realizing, wow, that's such a beautiful product, beautiful ingredients. You want to share it with the world. And I want to ask you, in this process of you kind of just exploring online on yourself, making a background on your home, what point you realize, oh damn, this is a business? What point you realize you're gonna step into the entrepreneur world and making this a business globally? That is still the difference is there, right? So when you realize that?
Well, when I first started, first of all, even the word entrepreneur was not even used in Mongolia because Mongolia was heavily focusing on huge, mining projects. And at that time, all the people were just like wanting to be part of the huge project. So when I first started, obviously, nobody in my family had ever done business, first of all. Second of all, nobody had ever done manufacturing. And third of all, nobody had ever started a business from scratch. So everybody was kind of pretty shocked when I was telling them I want to create my own business and do lip balms and bath bombs and stuff like that. And when I was telling that to business people, everybody was just like shaking their head and saying, you came all the way from an Ivy League American school. You graduated in this huge, degree in sustainability, and you want to do lip balms. And I was like, yes. And everybody told me, no, nobody will understand. Nobody will accept it. Like people don't even understand organic food. Why would they even care about organic skincare? Like who cares about it? Blah, blah, blah. And I think for me, it was, so people always say, oh, you changed everything. Like you, from renewable energy, sustainable development to organic skincare. But then for me, I think it's the same because it's just at the end of the day, the means to the end are just a bit different, but the end is still same sustainability. So organic skincare uses what we have above, like what nature gives us. So we, for example, use Mongolian sea buckthorn, we use Mongolian yak's milk, we use rosehip, nettle, everything that nature gives us, and then we make sustainable products, which then leads to sustainable production, manufacturing, and then sustainable and environmentally friendly products, which is exactly the same like renewable energy, because renewable energy uses wind, solar, exactly what nature gives us, and then makes sustainable energy out of it. So for me, it's exactly the same. It's just the product that I use, which is a bit different. So that's why from the start, I never really like imagined it to be what it is now, but I always kind of believe that I will definitely solve people's problems with these products.
So let me ask you this, Khulan. At the beginning, when you had this idea, having this passion, everybody tell you no. Everybody tell you that's crazy, or you're out of your mind. This is no one gonna accept you. How do you having that heart, having that courage to say, you know what, this is what I called to do. I'm gonna follow it through. How are you able to let go of the voice and really stay true to yourself and really follow it through your true passion?
I think, as I mentioned in the beginning, it really has to do with my past because I've been actually living alone since I was 15. So I was like at a boarding school, so I was away from my parents, and I was working at that time because I couldn't pay for my high school. So I had to work off for a year and a half to pay for my tuition fees.
Wow.
And I think that was kind of the point where I really understood that it's me who has to take care of me, and I have to make it happen in order to really, like achieve what I wanted to achieve. So I was basically, when I was like, I think 17, 18, I was working to pay for my tuition fees. So I was getting no salary. All the salary I had was giving to my school. So I think from that moment on, I just realized again that I need to make it happen, and nobody is going to help me, and I don't need to depend on people because I can make it happen. And I did finish my tuitions and I paid everything off, and like I managed to do it because I was like doing bakery, I was selling bread, I was helping with essays, I was teaching German, and like literally crazy many things at the same time.
Wow.
um so I think that's why I really realized that I don't need to ask people for permission to just do what I wanted to do. So obviously I wanted to get advice, which I didn't get, but then I was like, okay, fine, then I'll just try it. And then I thought at that time I'm still young because I was like 20. How old was I? 27, I think. um and I was like, I'm still pretty young. If I fail, I graduated from Colombia. I did all these things. I can still manage to get a job somewhere. But then, what if I succeed? I think that was kind of the question I had for myself.
I love that. And of course, we can always think about, what if we fail? But I think oftentimes people forget, what about the best scenario? What if we succeed? And I think, really holding that vision, holding that side, what that really gonna be like, and really enable you to come this far. This is so beautiful. I want to ask you, along the journey, do you ever afraid? Sounds like, whether it's you are 15 years old in the German trying to hustle multiple jobs, paying for your high school, to the way the entrepreneurship where you had to hustle yourself without anyone's sort of, supporting really at the beginning, right? Were you ever afraid? Was it, or do you always just this bold and just go after what you want?
Well, I was really afraid, and I still am, because obviously, being an entrepreneur and then kind of, I think it's really different. So the stages are really different, but I think the stages globally are the same for all the entrepreneurs. So at the beginning when so I was like for 1 year alone at home. So I was just doing my planning and just doing random bath bombs in my kitchen and stuff like that. I think that was the time when I was not afraid. I was dreaming, I had all these amazing like visions, I was like, next year I'm going to earn money and blah, 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 and all these things. But then the first moment when you have an employee, basically somebody in your team, and you have to pay the bills and you have to give salary, I think that's the moment when you get really scared because it's your responsibility. And obviously, as an entrepreneur, it's all on you. You have to make the marketing. You have to, like, I was doing, at the beginning, I was doing the product, I was doing the delivery, I was doing the, Facebook, social media pages, I was doing emails, I was doing phone calls, like everything. And I think that was kind of the moment where I got really scared. And I was really scared, I think, in my first year because, there was Mongolia is a developing country, right? So there was no lip balm ever made in Mongolia because, as I mentioned, Mongolia didn't care about such little things. Everybody was into mining and mining boom and big projects. So doing something that nobody had ever done before, I was really, really scared. And every day I was just like working and working and working. So Friday nights when all my friends went out, I was working. Saturday morning when all my friends were sleeping, I was working. Sunday when everybody was relaxing, I was working. And I think it just like drove me, to my ambitions. I was like, okay, since it's only me, I have to depend on myself. So I will just work and try to make it happen. And even if I'm afraid, I'll just try because I think I have a good purpose. I think I have a vision. My product works. I have that knowledge to it. It's not that I'm just making something up and there's a problem that needs to be solved. So I think these little things were always like, every time I was scared, I was telling myself, okay, you have to reach the vision. You're scared today, but tomorrow is a new day. So I think it's always this balance of scared, calming down, scared, calming down.
Wow. Sorry, as you're saying that, I just have so much, goosebumps and just over my body because it's so beautiful and how you're able to facing the fear and yet still holding the vision, holding the faith, and really choose to believe. And like you said, if today's not a great day, well, tomorrow is a brand new day. And I love that you just really able to hold yourself true to who you are, what you want, and every step along the way become that person, which is so inspiring. Okay, so now let's talk about entrepreneurship, right? This moment you have an idea, you have a vision, you're starting, you roll out your sleeve, you start making the beautiful lip balms, all the beautiful products. And as you're starting the entrepreneur journey, is this everything you ever imagined? Or is it something surprise you along the way? What is hardest thing you felt you have to do on the whole journey?
Well, I mean, it's been 7 years, and to be honest, I don't even realize it's 7 years. I feel like it's just like 2 years or something. Um, but as I mentioned, I think at the end of the day, every single entrepreneur goes through the same journey, right? So at the beginning, there's so much anxiety, there's so much uncertainty, but it's fun because it's just you and like maybe two, three other people, and it's fun because you're so happy about earning maybe $10 and $20. I mean, when I had my first sale, like when I had like my first $50 or something in my bank account, I was just so happy, and I was like, this is it. I'm so like like successful. But then obviously, as I mentioned, it's always up and down because the bigger you get, the more responsibilities you have, the smarter you have to be, the bolder you have to be. So it's I think it's really every single stage of entrepreneurship makes you like change who you are. So I think that entrepreneurship really changed me in such a like vast amount, like to a limit where I didn't even know like those exist, and to like it's just sky is the limit, basically. I changed like so many things about myself because along the way, the first year when I had 7 people, the second year I had 15 people, I already had to change my mindset to become a greater leader. Then we started having stores, then we started, like exporting. Then we started to have like much more, greater visibility around the world. And every time I had to tell myself, okay, you're young, you're pretty young, you're inexperienced, you have no idea what you're doing. That's why you have to be wiser and smarter, and you have to be fast, and you have to adapt to the world, and you have to, learn skills. You have to change your, like disabilities. You have to strengthen your abilities. So I think for me, it was really this life journey of growing together with my company.
Wow, it's so beautiful to see how you have such an intention about who you are and the journey you took and who you're becoming today, which is really beautiful. But what is the hardest thing? Do you think it's a people management piece? Is it leadership? Is it changing quickly? Is it adapting the global environment? What do you think is the hardest thing you have done or you have overcome become who you are today?
I think at the end of the day, for me, the hardest thing is people, because at the end of the day, business, even though like, you learn about it in books, you hear it in blogs and vlogs and all these things, it's just human to human, right? A human starts a business and it's for another human, you employ humans and you are human yourself. So I think those psychological parts are really the most challenging because employing people is not an easy job. It comes with a lot of responsibility because people connect their lives with you, right? So I said this year it's our 7 year anniversary, and I have, for example, actually today I was thinking about how I can give back to those people because especially in my production, almost every single person in my production has been with me from the start, and they will be with me until you know there needs to be some kind of change to it. So today, for example, I was thinking about it really deeply because you know you do your daily work and days just pass by really quickly. But then when you step back and you really take a look at it, you realize I changed these people's lives and these people changed my life because they connected their life with me and they trust me, they believe in me, and they really want to be part of the vision. So I think that has been truly the most difficult thing, to really focus on the humans, the customer humans, the team humans, you as a human. So it's really those psychological things that you as a leader need to be aware of, need to be very, very focused, and need to understand quickly, and need to have a very good gut feeling about.
Oh my God, Khulan, you are just such incredible, compassionate leaders. I can totally see why your team are just so happy, be part of the team with you from the beginning and until today. And I think that intentional, that really personal touch, that thoughtful that you have put out to yourself, to the company, to the community you cultivate is really, really essential to who you are today, to the success you have, which is amazing. And I wanted
Thank
to
you.
ask you, now 7 years in the journey, right? Today you are very successful. The business is really successful, become more and more global presence. And you and me know this, Kula. Any startup, the statistics of any startup to be successful is pretty low. It's very low. I want to ask you, what made you successful? What made you leading the business from the beginning to quote unquote, you say you did not know what you're doing, but you're having a vision to today, coming 7 years in the journey, which is long, long journey home, right? What made you stand out compared to other startups?
So I believe that a vision is really the key because the road in itself is difficult. It's hard. You have bumps. You fall. You stand up. You fall again. But then every time when you think about your vision, you understand there's a long way to go. So once you kind of understand that, you tell yourself, okay, every challenge along the way, everything I have to go through is just a lesson I need to learn in order to eventually one day reach that vision. And once I think I had that mindset, I think it was like around 3 years into the business. The first 3 years, I was always like, why is this happening to me? I mean, we had robbery, we had flooding in the factory. So, like, there was water until the knees. I had people work for me who kind of, went off and copied the products and just kind of did the same thing and stuff like that. But and obviously, because I'm working in a developing country, it's just very, very tough. I need to even, help write the laws in order to create the laws, right? So along the first 3 years, I was always like, why is this happening to me? Like, I'm so sad and, I'm so depressed and I'm so lonely and blah, 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 all these things. But then I think into 3 years, so after 3 years, I was like, every time something happens, I learn from it. And if I learn from it, actually, I become much better. So at one point, I just started to be really, really calm. Because first of all, this is my responsibility as a leader. I have to be calm. I cannot go crazy in front of my team. And second of all, I started really changing my mind and telling myself, if I can go through this challenge, then I can be stronger and I can be smarter. And then basically I will grow myself. And ever since that point, to be honest, I started to be really, really calm. I started to be really, really focused. And even if like something crazy happens, I just tell myself it's a lesson I need to go through in order to reach my bigger goal and in order to, gain happiness and just, gain all the things I was dreaming of. And this is my responsibility towards my team, and it's my responsibility towards my customers. And now it's even my responsibility towards my country. Obviously my country really looks forward in us succeeding because it gives many young people inspiration, because as I mentioned, I just started from home. So once you tell yourself it's your responsibility, you have to go through it and you have to learn all those lessons and grow and just kind of deal with it, I think you get much more calm and relaxed.
Wow. So beautiful, Khulan. Really beautiful. I can see how you become such an incredible leader today and really taking that responsibility and really recognizing is your lesson to learn is a path for you to create a bigger success, bigger happiness along the journey, and really taking that in rather than the victim mentality gonna really help you pivot. And I think that mindset is enable you to come this far. And you talk about help you achieve the greater happiness one day. I'm going to ask you, what does happiness mean for you? What do you want to achieve?
Well, obviously, the more I think you grow and the more you do, you realize you can achieve much more and you can do even much more. So when I first started, I just thought I'm going to do products and I'm going to sell them and I'm going to help people's skin. Along the way, I realized I can be much, much more, bigger than that. I can achieve much more greater things. And I think you don't know until you actually do it, and you don't know until you actually achieve it. And every time, obviously, goals are just, things you set up for yourself. But then I realized for myself that for me, happiness is first of all, like every time, especially with my team, I think I get really happy if I promise them something and I'm able to deliver. So that really makes me happy, which then led to, I'm really happy if I make other people happy. So lately I was thinking for me, it's really, I'm really happy if what I do, even if it's just a small thing, makes somebody else happy.
Oh my God.
Cha-
So
changes
beautiful.
changes kind of makes a positive impact on them.
So beautiful. I heard it saying somewhere said that when you look at happiness everywhere, you can't find it. When you look inside, you can't find it. But when you look at happiness in others, that's how you find it. The way to find happiness is give other people the joy, the happy, the presence, the energy, and that's how you have happiness, which is so beautiful said. And thank you. Oh my God, your story is so beautiful. And I want to ask you, today, what is important to you? Today, you have come along the journey, right? 7 years, you have done the impossible. You prove so many people wrong. You start at home, right? You build the business in a global scale. And what is important to you? What do you want to accomplish next?
Well, as I mentioned, as time goes by, my goals and my dreams get bigger and bigger and bigger, but my vision has never really changed. So my vision at the end of the day is to really create something globally that can change people's skin, but not only people's skin, but also people's mindset into something positive and beautiful, right? So my philosophy has been Lhamour's philosophy because obviously I'm the founder and it really mirrors who I am. My brand mirrors who I am. So the vision itself is just basically sharing the philosophy of loving yourself, loving others, and loving the environment. And I think that's what I want to achieve, and that's what makes me happy at the end of the day, because you have to align your personal vision with your company's vision, right? And only if you can align these two and really, like internalize these two, I think that's when you get really happy. And I think a lot of people are unhappy because they have a personal vision and then they work or do something that has nothing to do with their personal vision. And it really creates this imbalance and this stress and anxiety. So lately I have been kind of very, very relaxed because, I think I am internalizing what I want to achieve already. And I'm not like anxious, like one day I will get there. I know I'm already through my actions today. I'm partly doing it already. So why chase tomorrow if you can actually, do something today? And so that's kind of my focus. Every day I try to achieve something, which, is kind of like a puzzle piece working towards the greater vision. And every day, even if I'm relaxing, it's for the greater vision. It's because I need to be healthy as well. So I think before, when I just started, I was always worried because I was not living in now. I was like, oh, what if I, don't do this, and what if I do that? Oh, yesterday I did this and yesterday I did that. When I was at work, I was like worried that I'm not, having much fun time. And when I'm having fun time, I was worried I have to do my job. But now it's like, I think ever since I already also had my own family and a baby, now I really try to focus on, if I'm at work, I'm the most productive, the most efficient. I don't procrastinate. I just really focus on work. And if I'm at home, I just really focus on home and cherish the moment and spend time with my family and, just like cherish the little things and not worry about my work. So I really started to, especially as somebody who has multiple companies as well, I started to, switch my mind and I started to not making myself anxious that much. I think you're on mute.
Thank you. I want to ask, how do you even pivot though? Because you said it so beautifully. Usually the first time entrepreneurs or entrepreneur who are relatively early in their journey, right? He or she usually think about, oh my God, tomorrow I'm a little bit anxious, but how are you able to change that energy to everything I want already here? I'm already in my path. Like that is a very intentional shift and really shifting from do the push energy to relax and really knowing every step you are building the future. how do you able to shift that? And what advice you will give to other young entrepreneurs who maybe right now trying to figure out that balance and want to do what you do?
As I mentioned, I think every entrepreneur globally, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, goes through the same stages. So obviously, when you start, you have to do everything yourself because you're the only person that understands the vision and that has the vision, and your first team members are just kind of following you.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to do everything yourself, and that's reality, and it sucks,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just part of life. But then the more you grow, and as I mentioned, when you start having those responsibilities of paying salary, paying taxes, paying rent, changing your packaging, making your product better, having your customers, having the first feedback, the more you grow, the more bigger I think you have to think, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I would be now 7 years into my business and if I would still try to control the production, still try to control HR, try to do taxes, I mean, I would go crazy. And basically that I think was the point when I realized the bigger my company gets, the more I have to relax and try to trust others, to create a team that trusts me, that I trust back, and that really, all of them work together as a team towards the vision, and really try to focus on scaling up and creating processes and standards and just, procedures, so that the company doesn't depend on me as one single person anymore, but really has a solid ground so that it can exist without me. And I think that's really, really important in terms of success or failure of startups, because obviously I read a lot about startups and entrepreneurs and why certain startups fail. And I think that was kind of one of the key, reasons why a lot of startups fail is because the founder, obviously it's a baby. I always call Lhamour my first baby, my first child, because it's your heart, it's your vision, it's your heart. But you have to realize it's not just about you anymore. It's much bigger than you. It has outgrown you, and you have to let it go in terms of, not taking care of the details, but just being the visionary mindset behind it and just guiding the people. So now my team comes up with all the things, and I just meet them once a week and I tell them, good job, go ahead. You can just do whatever you feel like. And, as long as it's within obviously the branding and the vision, and they just do it. And I was really, really happy because they were so successful for International Women's Day without me. I didn't even, take part in the process that much. And I was really, really happy because now I can focus on greater things, how to scale my company, how to take it global, how to, come up with new things, and your mind is free. So I think that's really one of the key things that founders need to take care, to just let it go, let the business outgrow you, trust the team, trust the vision, and just kind of letting it be, and just being more of the guidance. Because I mean, once you're 5 years into it, it means you're successful. I mean, it means you have customers. It means somebody is willing to, buy for your service or product.
That's beautiful. And Khulan, now reflect by the 7-year journey you have embarked. I'm curious, if you had this magic wand, would you change anything along the way, or any advice you will share with your younger self?
I mean, obviously, when I look back, I did so many mistakes. I had so many problems, which just kind of created all this craziness within my journey. But as I mentioned again, I'm to be honest, not even one day depressed about it, because I had all this craziness, because I'm an entrepreneur in a crazy developing countries. I'm doing things nobody understands. I'm doing things nobody even heard of or understands or just even believes in. That's, I think, the reason why I am who I am, because it all made me grow. It all made me see things that other people didn't see. It all made me um, go through challenges other people didn't have to go through. And you know, as they say, I think it was Elon Musk or somebody said, the salary and the position you earn is about the bigger problems you solve. So if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a CEO, a lot of people dream about being a boss and being whoever. The more you have in life, the greater the responsibility. So if you really want to be a boss, then you have to also understand, you're the one that has to deal with the biggest problems, you know? So I think that's kind of the understanding that a lot of people don't have. They want to be the boss, but they don't want to go through the challenges. They want to be like a CEO, but then they don't want to handle the big issues, right? So for me, I don't think I would ever change anything, because every single problem I had, every single challenge I faced, even if it was just, sometimes like out of a movie, it really, really, really helped me become a much, much, complex minded, problem solving, issue solving person.
Wow, so beautiful. I really, really love that insight, Khulan. And I want to ask you last question. So today, for other entrepreneurs who are watching, who maybe want to be entrepreneur one day, who maybe are this woman who thinks one day she's gonna follow your footsteps as well. What advice, what suggestion you will share with her or him who maybe right now start thinking about the idea, but maybe have something hold them back, maybe not fully ready yet, maybe have not started the first step yet. What would you say to her or him regarding the journey?
So I would never lie and say it's easy. It's actually much more difficult than just having a 9 to 5 job and receiving salary and going home and just, doing whatever you want and not thinking about work. But then if you really, really, really are that kind of person, meaning you are a problem solver, you are a creative person, you want to change the world, you want to do all these new things, then I mean, go for it, because we only live once. We're all unique. And if you really want to do something and you think that you have, the solution to a certain kind of problem, then you have to go for it, because the world is full of problems and we need more problem solvers. So you have to think, and that's what I tell a lot of people, just having a good idea or just having a nice idea is not enough. It has to really create an impact on somebody's life. So as long as it does that, then it means you have one person in this world who would, who would be interested. And having one person, it means you have a lot of other people as well. And once you really realize, okay, what I'm doing is affecting other people's life, then go for it. Understand it's difficult, but understand the more difficult things you solve and the more complex issues you face and you can get over, it just means you're amazing and you're just, you're doing amazing things, and nobody has to understand you. I mean, they don't even have to give you permission, because they don't know what you're trying to do. And I think, as I mentioned, it's really, really important to align your personal vision, your life personal vision, and that of your work. And as long as these two are combined, you're really, really, you will be really happy, because once personal vision and work vision are the same, all these challenges, all these little things don't really matter anymore. That's basically what happened to me. So really my advice is, listen to your personal vision and what you really want to do, align that with your work vision, and just go for it, because obviously if you fail, that's fine. You can get any job anyways. It's not a bad thing. But then what if you succeed? That question, what if you succeed? Which you never know until you try it.
Wow, what if you succeed? Will we all succeed? I love that question so much because we are so trained to worry about all those things could be wrong. But hey, yeah, all those things could be wrong, could be right. And I just love that vision. And Khulan, I really want to just really want to honor you, really want to thank you, your presence, your insight, and you're such a beautiful, incredible, heart-centered businesswoman, and I can totally understand why you're on this journey, the impact you are making, and your perseverance, your bold, your courage, your presence, just so inspiring. So I really want to thank you for sharing your journey with
Thank
us all
you.
today. I know you are on your journey to create something even bigger. The whole world is ready for you. And so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for tuning in. I really hope you enjoy this as much as I do. And have a magical day, everybody. I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.